Hello, welcome to my channel Conscious Growing. I'm Matthias, and in today's video I want to have a different look on a topic that is, from my point of view, a little bit underrated, because somehow we are aware of it, but it's really hard to break some patterns here, and I will tell you what I mean. I'm talking about the internet, and specifically I'm talking about the use of smartphone. And I want to begin with the nature of brain and brain function and how it was maybe a few thousand years ago. Because we always hear that our primal brain has still the same function like it has had a few thousand years ago, let's say. So this fight or flight or freeze response was there in former times when you were attacked by a tiger or a bear or whatever wild animal. And today lots of people are struggling with anxieties, physical symptoms, and I don't want to say that the use of a smartphone is a reason for these panic attacks, but here is my share. So, coming back to this idea of having the same primal brain, but the modern person has much more stimuli than it had in former times. So, you would say you go out, you go hunting, you had to be careful not to be attacked, and then you're back in your cave with your family, sitting at the fire, and so on. So, no television, no internet, and so on. But nowadays, our life seems to be more challenging. So we have relationships, we have work issues, we want to succeed in the outside world, we're trying all kinds of stuff to being the best in our discipline, and so on. So there's lots of pressure. And I don't need to mention the wars around us, the economic situations in many countries. And what's happening now, all of us, we have a smartphone. And we order, we communicate, we take informations. So many of us are having an online time for many hours each day. And coming back to the comparison to the primal brain, we have so much more stimuli. And the phone and the informations we gather and we trying to communicate and all this stuff is an ongoing stream of information. So in other words, the brain has to process this. So in other words, when we always have an overflow of information, it's overwhelming, and it can overwhelm our systems easily. So let's come back to the special case of people who deal with anxiety or chronic symptoms, or in most cases both. When you have a look at this, how do you deal with these situations? How do you use a smartphone? And what I want to point out is that sometimes when we feel anxious and there's a feeling, there's a threat going on, then all of us are using the phone to get informations, watch another YouTube video like this, hoping to get some support, and then we are ongoingly in this habit. And this habit is just causing more stress because we're trying to find a solution out there. So we're not looking inwardly, we're looking outwardly. We are waiting for the last puzzle piece, and another video, another person who shares his wisdom. But yeah, there are some common themes for all of us when you're on this recovery path. And of course, there's lots of important informations out there and very helpful informations for sure. But coming back to the brain function, it's so easy to grab the phone, and I think the most important point to see is how do you react when you feel uncomfortable? How do you react when anxiety comes up? Because what I observed is that in most cases it's like when, let's say, you are alone, you feel overwhelmed by your emotions and your sensations, the fear is coming up, and to grab the phone is the easiest avoidance mechanism. Let's watch another video. Let's get some reassurance from outside. And what's happening then is you have this sensation, you're fearful, you're grabbing the phone, and you're giving the message to your brain, danger, danger, danger. I'm looking for a solution out there. And this is the wrong information. So therefore I highly recommend to have breaks, to have some digital detox time. Very important in recovery, because you will see when you exchange this habit of using the phone to avoid your unpleasant sensations, I can reassure you they will stick around, because they will be suppressed. But if you make the decision in those moments not to grab your phone, to feel what's coming up, to allow it to be there, to decide to do little things, to go out for a walk instead of doom scrolling. And doom scrolling is the highest form of distraction, because yeah, you could say, okay, I'm just watching these funny videos on YouTube, but or even the insightful videos you're watching, but it's you're flooded with information from the external world, and we underestimate that the brain has to process these informations, because the simple message to the brain is ongoing information. So it's working in high gear all the time, and we are not aware of it, because momentarily it gives us some relief, and we are looking on the screen and we feel a little bit better momentary, and then 10 minutes later the next unpleasant feeling comes. So what are you doing now? So are you grabbing the phone again? And it's really important to see that it's all about your reaction and it's about behaviors. And this behavior is maybe the most disturbing pattern of the in the modern society. And there is brain science where they were able to make a screenshot of their brain when the brain is using the phone. You can see the waves, you can see that there's more movement, there's more excitement. And now when you connect the dots, it means you are dealing with anxiety, you are dealing with symptoms, you don't feel well, and your pattern is to stimulate yourself more. And this more stimulation causes more symptoms. But you think, I'm just gathering information from the internet. I'm doing something good for me. And this is a big trap. And I really want to say it as extreme as it is, because we underestimate this matter of fact. So very important to see this. On top of it, I want to talk about it from another angle, and this is the angle of me being a body therapist, an Alexander Technique teacher. So what I observed when I was teaching the Alexander Technique for 20 years, and when clients came to me, we worked on tension, we worked on people, I worked with people showing them that they can have less effort in their shoulders, that the shoulders can drop, that they can have less tension in their arms while they do any sort of activity. They can have some awareness of their neck, that the neck isn't tensed unnecessarily. Some awareness, okay, this neck can be free. So we have some awareness about the patterns of tensing up. And if we stay in this example of the smartphone, this smartphone is a small thing and you hold it. And when you hold it and when you're taking informations in and when you're pressing, you're scrolling at the same time, I can promise you, you don't have any awareness what your body is doing in the meantime. But if you once change this and have a look on this pattern, and this means, okay, every now and then I check in and see what is my body doing right now, then you will realize that you're tensing up. So the very act of using the phone develops some tension. And when you look around, when you see people, and we have all forms of human beings who are dealing with this, because we all, more or less, every one of us has this phone. And then you see these people who are totally kind of shut down, walking around even on streets and bumping into people and so on. So totally not on this world anymore. But we all have this tendency, including me, of course. I use it as well, and I found that whenever symptoms were very intense, at a certain point I decided, hey Matthias, you have to have a look at this and use it less. You have to create new patterns, because this pattern is destructive. And if you use it as an avoiding mechanism, you can't make the progress fully. And I don't mean that you don't need to go from 100 to 0, but just reducing it would be something. Or what I did sometimes, I just decided today the phone is off no matter what. I just turn it off. And that were some good days, but of course also challenging in a way, because when you do this, you realize how much addicted you are. We are like junkies with this. And it's like we need our stuff, you know. So but this shows how intense it is. But when you get used to it a little bit more, and when you create this new pattern of using it less, or at least deciding, having times along the day where you're just offline and doing more thoughtful stuff and more stuff with more awareness and stuff that really brings you joy, then it's a different story. And yeah, so coming back to this example, what does it to the body? It does that I described. We are tensing up without knowing, so always without realizing. So the pattern is tension. And what is the pattern of anxiety? Tension. We're tensed up. We don't want this uncomfortable feeling. And then we ask ourselves, my God, why do I feel so tense all day long? It's so awful. This anxiety is so severe. And we don't realize that the use of the phone is part of the problem. Not only brain-wise and mentally, also physically, because we're tensing up. We're bringing ourselves in this anxious state on a physical level without realizing it. So therefore, I want to encourage you to have a look at these things. Observe yourself when you feel uncomfortable. Allow yourself to feel uncomfortable. Not grab the phone. Have a look on your physical body while you're using your phone. Are your shoulders under your ears while you do it? While you're tensed up looking for the quick fix, or the last piece of the puzzle, or whatever. So this is all connected. It's all related, and it's about awareness. And the only one who can bring some awareness in this is you. And you will see you make more progress when you have a look at these things. Yeah, so enough for today. I hope this is helpful in some kind of way. And of course, I know somehow we all know this. Somehow this isn't the latest news you're getting. There is something in you that already realized this. But the question is, are we able to break this pattern every now and then and establish new habits? Because the last example I want to bring, it just comes to my mind, is like, let's say you're in this anxious state, and let's say you have problems in your relationship, and you should have a discussion with your partner about it. You should take some time, you should sit together and should say, look darling, I have this struggle right now, I have these kind of feelings, and we need to talk about it. This is the mature decision. The other decision is grabbing the phone, doom scrolling, just bring yourself down mentally, distract yourself, and then you're so distracted, and then you're so anxious that this very step to talk to your partner seems to be too much. This is how the cycle goes, and it's important to identify this. In other words, if you are able to leave the phone aside for a while, you might be able to manage these daily tasks easier, even with anxiety. And even more, this is a cure from anxiety, to go back to life, back to real relationships, to talks, to having a hug with someone, all this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna wrap up here. Hope that you can take something out of it, and I will be delighted if you can subscribe this channel if you have interest in this kind of content, and of course leave a comment, a question, and send it to someone who might need this message today. Then also I offer a one-to-one coaching. You can find this on my webpage, and there's a formula and you can send me a message there. I offer a 30-minute or so first talk for free, just to check out if we are a good match for working together. So that's it for today, and be well. Bye.